Okay guys, I'm gonna do a little recording here. I'm working on my solar actuators, and I had these on my first setup, and this one here is going to be metal. So I got a new, both a XY axis, so it's going to work in north and south and east and west as far as the actuators. And the one I had before, I had it out in the weather, and I actually had it mounted about like this. Okay, so, or however you want to put it. But anyways, this was in the weather. This part here is in the weather. This part was getting a little bit wet, but this is getting in the weather during the winter time, during the summer. You know, you can see it was getting wet. Well, right in here, if you can kind of see, this doesn't seal up real well. And I thought with the way this was made, and of course this is made for outside, this would all seal up pretty good. It doesn't. Okay, so what I do is I get some silicone caulking and I smear on all these joints. Okay, and I bought a new one. I put it on, and then, like I said, I seal up all these joints with the silicone, and I put plenty around this right here. So when this goes through, once I took it apart, you can tell that this doesn't seal up very good at all. So if this is mounted, say like this, all this water is running down right in this area, and it eventually ran inside, and all this right here was wet, and it wound up rusting and damaging the motor, and so then it stopped functioning. And of course, these right here just hold a housing. So these are just holding this housing, and of course there's a actuator limit switch inside here. So what it does is when it gets fully extended, this hits an actuator to stop it on both ends. So that's housing that, and this is basically your motor, and this little housing here. So all this right here is just paper. When I took these apart, these are just like a, I don't know, cork, or almost just like a paper. So really not very efficient to keep the water out. So what I'm doing, I'm smearing this on here. You know, doesn't look the greatest, but you know, who cares if it's going to keep out the moisture. So I wanted to show you guys a real quick video on that. And I'll do another one here as I'm working on the solar. But just a word of advice: when you get these right here, they seem to work fine. They've done great for what I wanted, but they don't seal up real well. And what I'm also doing is when I mount them on my solar tracker, like that one there, if you see that one there, it's upside down. So that puts the motor up underneath the panels out of the weather, and that's how I'm gonna run everything now. I'm gonna run it to where the motor is up and then the tip is down. So that way the tip is out in the weather, this is getting weather, and of course if it hits here, it's just gonna run down and not as likely to get moisture in the motor, because both of them will be mounted up high. This one's gonna get mounted here and then up there, so it's going to be up under the panel, so it will be kind of housed out of the weather. So that's kind of my theory on that one. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll talk to you later, guys.